A parable of sibling rivalry. Once upon a time there was a newly wedded couple, Jim and Diane. Jim and Diane had been married for 2 years when they had a baby boy. They named the baby Danny. He was a very happy baby. He grew up well loved by his parents. As he learned to walk, he was a very active baby, always keeping his parents busy. Around the age of 3, his favorite things to do were build things out of his toys, play in the woods, and watch movies with his parents. Every day he would wake up and eat breakfast next to his dad and say goodbye as his dad went to work. Danny loved spending time with his mom when his dad had gone to work. Twice a week they would plan something for the afternoon. Sometimes they would go to the park, a movie, the zoo, or on a bike ride. Danny also loved waiting for his dad to come home from work. One day Danny was sitting on the stairs when his dad opened the door, and he jumped off the stairs to him. His dad brought him into the kitchen and sat him down at the table. His parents sat next to him and told him that in 5 months he was going to have a baby brother. Danny grew a smile from ear to ear. He had never really given much thought to having a baby brother, but immediately he thought of all the things they might be able to do together, like building things out of toys, playing in the woods, watching movies with each other. They ate dinner and talked about all the possibilities of the things they could do with each other in 5 months. One morning, as Danny was saying goodbye to his dad, Danny's mom yelled from across the kitchen that she was going into labor. Jim ran to his wife, picked her up, and ran over to the car. The three of them flew down the driveway and headed off to the hospital. Diane got all set up in the room, and in 5 hours, Danny was able to see his baby brother. He looked through the window and watched his parents beaming with joy and happiness at their newborn baby. He went in to see him and got to hold him for the first time. It was a very happy day for Danny. When they were able to bring the new baby, Casey, home, it was a good day. Danny enjoyed having Casey around. As Casey began to figure himself out, he started picking up toys and shaking them around over and over. His parents loved to watch him play, even if he repeated the same action over and over. One day, Danny walked into the living room and found Casey chewing on one of his yellow blocks. Danny ran over, ripped the block out of Casey's mouth, and spanked him on his back. Casey started crying, and Danny's mom came running into the living room. His mom picked up her crying son and told Danny to get to his room. Danny started crying and ran up the stairs to his bedroom, while Casey was being held by his mother. It was at this point in his life where he first thought to himself, "Is it okay to be me?" His parents had influenced him to the point where he was at a social crisis with his own self-doubt. He thought that it was his fault he was not getting the same amount of attention as his new brother. Danny felt very ashamed and guilty for what he did to his brother, but he was also very angry and bitter towards him. Fast forward to Danny's 8th grade year. Danny started playing basketball in middle school and found that he was pretty good. He made the 8th grade team and played in every game. Casey was in the Little League for soccer, and he was a starting forward. Their parents tried to make it to both of their Saturday games, but it was often one or the other, and usually Casey. Danny put so much work into his basketball game and tried to make the first string on the team so people would realize his talent. He wanted to be known as the basketball player by his friends and by his parents. It took Danny most of his high school years to figure out who he was. His junior year, he was cut from the varsity basketball team, and it was very hard on him. But it helped him learn that his talent in basketball did not define him in his family's eyes. It helped his relationship with his brother Casey when he began to figure out who he was and could be, because he no longer felt he had to impress his parents or outdo his brother's soccer career with his talents in basketball. During Danny's late college years, he grew a lot closer to his younger brother Casey. They both attended local colleges, and they were able to see each other often. They learned to enjoy each other's gifts and talents instead of obsessing over whose were better. They became better siblings because of the rivalry they experienced in their years growing up together, and it ultimately made them better people.